Texans officially favored against the Baltimore Ravens. What is going on? Hell of a lot. Lamar Jackson now out, defense depleted, and now this goes from a game that everybody chalked up as an L to one that they should probably win. Cooper Rush is not Lamar Jackson. The defense is depleted, and Cody Stutes is probably going to have to drink 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar, 2 ounces of cucumber Gatorade, and 2 ounces of milk, all in one. Because
It's gonna be a lot if the Texans win, but the things we do for the things we need.
All right, so immediately the skepticism comes out that the Texans can wet the bed in this game. Does this game go from one that you almost had chalked down as an L to one that would almost be like an unforgivable loss at this point if all of those Ravens players are out?
I mean, it's bordering on that. I wouldn't put it past this offense to go over to Baltimore and put up a dud and not have enough to take care of what Derrick Henry can provide on the football field for the Ravens on their side of the ball when they're on offense. But it's close to that territory when you think about no Lamar Jackson, which is the main driving force behind their offense, and you factor in all the other things the Ravens are dealing with. It feels like a game where if you are on the right track, if you feel like you are who you think you are on defense, if you're the Houston Texans, you got to go win this football game. And I don't care about style points. I think there was a little hope for style points against the Titans for the offense. I don't care about just beat the Ravens in Baltimore, get out of there. I don't care if they turn it into a rock fight, a low-scoring affair. Doesn't matter to me. Get that win no matter what. But it's pretty close to, you probably shouldn't lose this one.
No, I don't think there's any excuse to lose it. I mean, this is the team that, and I know that the Texans got off to the 0-3 start, but this is the team that they've been chasing for a long time, and this team's completely depleted at an extreme level. There's really no excuse to not go there and get the dub. And then if that does happen, you're looking at 2-3 heading into the bye, and stuff is laid out. We've talked about 5-5 being the target when they were 0-3. This would just completely flip stuff. And I think the bye actually comes at a perfect spot too. So I think everything is really kind of looking up for them. I don't think there's any excuse to lose to Cooper Rush in a completely depleted Ravens defense at this point. Those could be dangerous last words. I don't like there's no room for laying a dud like this. There's no room for laying a dud like this with the way that this is laid out. D'Amico's already gotten a look at Cooper Rush too. Derrick Henry, he's actually had some decent history with Derrick Henry when he's been able to key on him. Now it's not it's a little bit different when Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are in the same backfield, but when he's been able to just key on Derrick Henry, he's had some success with that. So I would imagine that that's probably where the defense is going to approach things. Take Derrick Henry out of the game, make Cooper Rush beat you, put your corners on an island against their receivers, which you don't feel great about. And then that's really going to be the key for the Texans. But at this point, this has gone from they have no chance in hell to win this game to they better win this game or else the sky's going to be falling. It's kind of similar. It's almost a similar vibe to the Titans last week, where you should win this game. There's no excuse.
It is intriguing about basically the transformation of this game to, you would have expected it to be a loss to, even if they had Lamar, but were missing some of the defenders, you probably would still be expecting it to be a loss. But without Lamar and without those defenders, you now shift this game into, hey, you need to continue to prove that you're not the 0-3 team that started the season, that you're on the track to being a much better football team. It's really transformed the perception of how, it's really transformed the opportunity to change the perception for this Texans team.
On the super chat, let's go to the peeps.
Swarm.
Logan Taylor says, do you feel we should be favored? Last check, -2, 1.5. It's -2.5 now. So that's where it's at. Patrick says, Cody, get the t-shirt. Wink.
Okay. I'll have a little surprise for the folks in the coming weeks with the t-shirt.
Okay, there you go. And by the way, in the coming weeks, 17th and 31st of October, mark your calendars. We'll be back out at Spanky's. They just added the They just added the chicken Alfredo lasagna to the menu. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing the peeps the 17th and the 31st at Spanky's. And who knows, maybe we'll be talking about a 2-3 ball club. Maybe a 3-3 ball club, actually. So
one thing too about that brand new chicken Alfredo lasagna, it's included in their pasta special, which is tonight after 4 p.m.
wow. Geez, they just don't stop.
Nope. They bring you value, great homemade food. Spanky's is the best. We'll see you there on the 17th.
HDAV says, afternoon, Landry, Cody, and friends. Hopefully we are not saying next week they are who we thought they were. RIP Dennis Green.
Yeah, well, that would be unfortunate if they.
Oh, I think they're a team that should beat I think they're a team that should beat the Ravens. So if I'm saying that, then I Cooper Rush at quarterback, no Roquan Smith, no Matabike, no Marlon Humphrey. Yeah, I see in the chat it's calm down. I don't need to calm down. It's Cooper Rush. This Ravens team that they're facing is a team that over the course of a season, this squad is a team that's drafting in the top 5. This is a team that's drafting in the top 5. You take 4 of your top 5 players off the roster, however you want to look at it, and you look at how they were playing before. This is not a good team. Now, are the Texans a good team? I don't know, but they're a hell of a lot more healthy than the Ravens. So that's how you got to look at this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what that uniform is. There's no Lamar Jackson. He's been involved in all 3 of the ass whoopings, which combined point total of 69 points against D'Amico squads. So yeah, this is a game that you should expect to win. They're not good.
My early thought is, if the offense is a dud for the Texans, then this is a low-scoring game, and the Ravens, they've got the better coach in this matchup, and Harbaugh's just got enough to gimmick it past the finish line and get them there. You mentioned the Derrick Henry history.
If that happens, then something needs to happen. It's not any different than losing to the Titans. Like that's not any different than losing to the Tennessee Titans. If you are that far off from a team that has owned you to where they lose all these people and you lose that game, something needs to change. They need to make a serious change if that happens. No different than had they lost to the Titans.
Would that be what, new play caller, new coordinator?
Something. Like it does like something. Someone needs to go. Whether it's Caserio, whether it's D'Amico, and it won't be D'Amico, whether it's Kaylee. If they lose this game, then it's no different than the Titans. That's how it needs to be looked at. Like that's how there's a 9-point shift in a betting line. Do you know what the equivalent of that is? Like that's not just like a quarterback. That's a 9-point shift in a betting line. It's 10 actually. It's 9.5, 10-point shift in a betting line. That's crazy. This is not this team. Like if they started with this squad, it's one of the worst teams in the league. It's one of the worst teams in the league.
Well, the thing too is, as we talk about that, it would be like this game would be close because it's Texans driven, not because the Ravens were doing something amazing and overcoming things. That it would only be close because the Texans couldn't get out of the Texans' way. That's the way I look at it.
Fact. Yeah, I would agree with that. And that would be just as much of a problem. But they gotta figure this out. They gotta get it done. And they should win this game, and they should be 2-3. And they should be really feeling pretty good about themselves if they end up 2-3 after this, heading into the bye week with a Monday night game 2 weeks from that, 2 weeks from this game, two plus weeks. So it's laid out nicely for them.
It's a great opportunity. I know we talked about Lamar being gone from the Ravens offense, but with the issues that the Ravens are dealing with on defense, the numerous players that could miss, should miss, will miss. It's a really good opportunity for that offense that was unimpressive and struggled for 3 straight games and half a game against the Titans. It's a really good opportunity for them to build on the stuff that they did do well in the back part of that Titans game, which is a big part of success, not only in this Ravens game, but beyond this Ravens game, because it's not the big bad Baltimore Ravens that you're facing. It's, a very wounded Baltimore Ravens defense that you're facing in this one.
Yeah, and I think that's the other point that you brought up yesterday that I thought was a good observation is you don't want to mess with these guys if they figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, even if they do, like they're still going to be banged up, but you don't want to have anything to do with these guys. So the further back you can push them to where the season ends up perhaps being like one of those lost cause seasons where they're not even really a threat at the end, the better you got to feel. So that's the other point is like when Baltimore's healthy and the Texans are healthy, Baltimore owns them. I would not be like, if Lamar Jackson were playing, I would not be picking the Texans. It's not even about like the three guys on defense. That's one thing. And that obviously does impact them, but I would not be picking them. He's not there. That completely changes everything. That changes a lot. Like it changed, like you don't, the threat of Lamar Jackson running, the intermediate passing, asking your linebackers and Jalen Petrie to cover guys for sometimes it feels like Lamar makes you cover them for like 6 seconds. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So this should be, I mean, Cooper Kupp should be on his back a number of times in this game. And maybe they're just
Cooper Rush.
Oh, I said Cooper Kupp. Cooper Rush, excuse me. Wrong Coop. Cooper Kupp is 2 weeks. He's the bye. But yeah, Cooper Rush should be on his back a number of times, and you should just be all in on stopping Derrick Henry.
And once again, to your point about if the Ravens ever get it going, I looked at their schedule. If Lamar gets healthy in 2 weeks and they get some of these defenders back, this schedule sets up for them to be able to go on a run. You'd love to have that tiebreaker head to head versus Baltimore in case they're hanging around in the wild card picture with you later on in the year, to know that they have to finish one game better than you to have that tiebreaker. That'd be a nice peace of mind.
Yep, no doubt. So Lamar Jackson likely to miss. Texans officially a favorite. And the other injuries we've laid out, I might have missed some.
So players to pay attention to, I mean, obviously, in addition to Lamar officially being out, but players to pay attention to on offense for them, left tackle Ronnie Stanley. So that's, potentially they're a backup tackle for them. On defense for them, they put Matabike on IR. They have another defensive tackle who's injured, Travis Jones. Roquan Smith's their best linebacker. Kyle Van Noy's been out, might be back, but could still be out. Nate Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey, two of their starting cornerbacks. So starting linebacker, best pass rusher, starting cornerback, depth defensive tackle, starting left tackle, and quarterback. Like, I mean, that is rough.
And as far as the Texans, their potential injuries, we look at that and what we could be looking out for. You still got to look at Stingley and see how he's feeling. But again, he said it's going to take a lot to keep him off the field. You do also have the bye week, so you're going to have some natural rest after this one. What else are we looking at as far as Texans potential injuries?
I mean, they felt pretty good coming out of this one. I guess their tight end situation, but you could hopefully gimmick around Harrison Bryant not being available. I would think you could figure that out. Sting would be the one that I'd pay attention to, and then just little pieces of that secondary. If there was anybody kind of dinged or anything like that, but they seem to go into that thing pretty healthy and come out of it pretty healthy. And Sting will be the one to watch for tomorrow, and just make sure everything else is lined up good. Nico had the knee last week, but he was good to go by the end of the week. So I guess you pay attention a little bit to Nico Collins just to make sure. But it feels pretty solid for the Texans. I have a Derek Stingley question for you, though.
Okay.
Would Derek Stingley Ronnie Lott a finger to stay in the game?
We cut his finger off?
Yes. Ronnie Lott lost the tip of his pinky finger in a game to stay in the game.
He might. I don't know. He's a warrior, man. He's a warrior. Logan Taylor on the soup.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm
Said, I feel this will be a Woody Marks show out game. Well, I kind of felt like we already saw that last time.
Hey, it'd be nice to stack them, though. It'd be nice to have two in a row.
He is the most popular pickup in fantasy leagues right now. I've seen he's on the front of every single
fantasy
waiver wire.
anybody is saying, go get Woody Marks.
Yeah, he's on every single one.
Yeah, the Ravens have allowed 141.3 yards per game on the ground to opponents. Now, they played Jahmyr Gibbs and James Cook in 2 of those 4 games, but still, that's a lot. I mean, Quinshon Judkins got some of his first NFL action against them and got things going on the ground a little bit. And the Chiefs didn't really have a running game in that game. So if you can get it going, you should be able to kind of keep the gas on them throughout the course of the game.
Samson says, after hearing that, now let's effing go Texans swarm. Yeah, it's laid out for him.
I think you got the folks pumped up with this.
No, I mean you got to win this game. Like, look at this, like the Titans. They're in the same ballpark as the Titans with the current state of them. I know that's hard to imagine with a team that's beat your ass this much, but that's where they're at. Hex 2809 says the end of Mixon in a Texans uniform. I mean, doesn't look great.
I mean, there's a chance that Joe Mixon has played his last football as a Texan. That certainly exists as a possible outcome to this current situation.
Yeah,
because I would think, look, he's on non-football injury. If they go after the money that he's owed this year, that seems like a situation that would not make him happy. Plus, if the injury is as bad as it seems like they're hiding, Mixon may not be a viable option a year from now.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, how much does he really have left at this point? George Johnson, what's going on, fellas? A lot more confident now, sort of. You should be.
Yeah, you should be confident, George.
Chris V says, is 10-5 unrealistic? Maybe I'm too optimistic. Yeah, I mean,
so 10-5 with 2 to play.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they handle the Colts and the Jags. I think those are going to be pretty tough games. But I think this stretch up to 10 is what you really want to see. 5-5 was what I said. You might be able to get a little bit greedy there because San Francisco has problems. Seattle is going to be a tough game. I would imagine that they're going to be an underdog in Seattle, although they're going to be coming off the bye, which is always nice, but it's going to be a late ass game. So there's kind of like the balance of that. Denver looks pretty good. They finally ended that 100-yard rusher streak that was so well documented. They seem to be playing good. They could easily be undefeated at this point. I know they've lost a couple games, but they could very easily be undefeated. The manner in which they've lost.
I very much feel like Denver's performance last night was more about the Bengals than the Broncos.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's almost like you're keeping them close to. Like I don't know how much you're really emptying it out against the Bengals at this point. They're just bad.
Yeah.
And it's kind of similar to what we're seeing with Baltimore, where you take out one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you still have all the offensive stuff around him that he normally has, and he sucks. And they're one of the worst teams in the league. So that's kind of what you're looking at with Baltimore, and an even more extreme level because of what Lamar does for the run game.
Just from a slight Texans kind of offshoot of the conversation too, that offensive line in Cincinnati is still not very good. I know they invested a little bit here and there on it in the past couple of seasons. It still stinks. So they haven't fixed their O-line in a couple of years, and you saw some of the results of it. The Texans got to get some long-term solutions here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's also what's kind of crazy about you look at where the Texans are right now, and two of the teams that you thought would kind of be in that same tier in Cincinnati and Baltimore, not looking so good right now. So
right.
You're sitting pretty with that. Jacob says, I need a Jared Kingston scouting report. Also, don't sleep on Cowboy legend Cooper Rush. He beat out Trey Lance. This QB2.
The great Trey Lance. He said it with some sarcasm, I think.
So Jared Kingston is a guy that they just signed out of, I think he went to USC. Mm-hmm. He's played one offensive snap, I think.
That is correct.
So I really don't know a lot about this guy.
I do. So he played a ton in college. He was in college for like 6 years. Started at Washington State, was going to leave after 2022 and then got the nod to transfer to USC, stuck around, played a little tackle and a little guard for them at USC with the Trojans. And then late round draft pick. He's only played in that one offensive snap as well as a ton of preseason stuff. He's only played on the interior in the preseason. So he's only been a guard in the preseason. But of course, he has a little tackle experience from college. I don't know how much that matters. It's a pretty strange addition because he's very inexperienced and he doesn't play tackle. And so it's a little curious. I guess they have confidence that Blake Fisher is the backup tackle for this team. That's what this move says.
I would say no to that. I would say they definitely don't have confidence in Blake Fisher. I would strongly doubt that, and I would say their actions and what we've seen kind of validate that. So maybe we're getting a Trent Brown elevation, which I don't feel great about either because I don't know how long he holds up, but there's nothing that's happened with Blake Fisher to where they suddenly feel comfortable with him being on the field in a game that actually counts. I'm sorry.
I mean, they went into the game this past Sunday with that being the situation.
Yeah, and that's very risky, but unfortunately for them, it played out. And hopefully there's no offensive line injury and they don't have to worry about it. But the depth on the offensive line is a real issue, especially at tackle. And I don't think there's too many backup tackles better than Cam Robinson. I don't think he's that good, but I think most backup tackles aren't good. So I am reluctant to trust their line of thinking when it came to getting rid of Cam Robinson. It seemed a little bit reckless, but it also seems kind of on par with the way that they've handled the offensive line over the course of really the entire Caserio era and really the D'Amico era as well.
I understand what they said, and Cam Robinson wants to play, yada yada. But was he really that much of a disruption that you couldn't have just sat him on the bench? Like, he didn't strike me as the type of guy that's going to sit there and ruin things for you if he's unhappy in the building. I think, how much could he have really affected things? It's not like they got some sweet deal for him. They moved up one round in the 2027 draft with him. So it's like
save like a few million.
Yeah, they save a couple $1,000,000, but to be a snap away from Blake Fisher taking over one of the tackle spots, and if Ursary got hurt, I suppose you would just put Titus over there and play Blake Fisher at right tackle.
No way.
Well, Landry, who's the tackle then?
That's my issue. I don't know.
Well, I'm working with what's on the roster. So like if
but neither one of those guys lined up on the left. That's the thing about it. Neither one of those guys lined up on the left. That's the problem. So like don't try to make sense of this. Like it's
I'm not. I'm just trying to figure out what is the break glass in case of emergency plan.
I mean, maybe it's Trent Brown, but I don't know what he's going to be. It doesn't make sense to do this. Like it could potentially be like if what the odds are that happens in the NFL happen, it could be a season-ending type of trade because you're not going to have a chance in hell with Blake Fisher or Titus Howard at left tackle, and you don't know what's going to happen with Trent Brown. So, like, if you make a bad investment, sometimes you just keep the investment around, like, to get something out of it. And the problem that I have with this move is if nothing happens, great. If nothing happens, great. But we're 4 weeks removed from them thinking that because a guard got hurt, starting Cam Robinson at left tackle was the right decision. That was 4 weeks ago, dude.
Yeah.
Then he's your backup tackle. And you go up there when you make a move for CJ Gardner-Johnson. And you combatively say multiple times, we're going to do what's in the best interest of the team. Every move we make is in the best interest of the team. I'm D'Amico Ryans. It's my team. I know what's what's in the best interest of the team. That's what they said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he say that they traded Cam Robinson?
Cam Robinson wanted to play.
Okay. So that's
You want to hear him say it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we traded Cam to the Browns today. It gives Cam an opportunity to go play. Cam wants to play, so it gives him an opportunity to do that, and we wish Cam nothing but the best. He's handled himself the right way since he's been here. He's done everything the right way, everything that we asked him to do. So we wanted to do right by him and give him the opportunity.
Okay. That's cool. I mean, that's good for him and hopefully okay for them.
It definitely ventures into unnecessary risk territory, which is something that they have put themselves in a bunch of different times under Nick Caserio. It's unnecessary risk territory. Like, that doesn't have to be like figuring out between Blake Fisher and Titus Howard, who's the backup left tackle. Like, you don't have to decide between those two guys. You could have just kept Cam Robinson around.
Exactly. And that's really that's the issue that I have with that line of thinking, especially.
I have probably like a little bit more faith in if they had to go to Trent Brown that it would be okay.
Well,
you do.
Well, I'm not. I mean, look, I don't know why you have to choose between one or the other. That's my whole point. Like, do you not like? It's not like you got enough salary relief or anything like that to have to choose. But I mean, it would be nice to have. It would be nice to have multiple options to where you have Cam Robinson and you have Trent Brown. I mean, it's not like you traded into some contender. Here's the other thing that, I mean, we were less than a week removed from Ariante Ursary just getting his ass whooped.
Yeah.
So I hopefully they don't have to worry about this and it means nothing. Like, you can drive around for 3 years without car insurance if you want. Like, if you don't get in a wreck and you don't get pulled over, then you're going to be fine. But the second that something happens and your car gets totaled and you're having to pay out of pocket or something like that, then that's when you have the issue. So they're basically rolling around with a shitty insurance plan and riding around without insurance. So it's fine.
Don't have no car insurance, don't have no Cam insurance.
Yeah, that's pretty much where they're at right now with that. Now, in a perfect world, I would love to be able to trust Blake Fisher.
Can I sell you a 400-pound backup policy, please? Are you in the market for one of those?
Yeah.
And
JB, that was not advice. That was just an analogy. I've never rolled around without insurance. So there's no advice on that.
Yeah, you've got to have insurance. Don't do that.
Unless you're Nick Caserio.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame if Cam Robinson had ever spent 5 minutes at Foxborough, he'd still be on this team probably.
Common Sense 200 says Baltimore traditionally been great against New England systems.
Yeah, they traditionally had good players doing that, be good against New England systems. I don't think they have as many good players. Also, we saw a little bit of the Rams stuff in there. Saw a little Rams stuff.
So the open roster spot, you're thinking it's going to be Trent Brown?
No, the Kingston guy took what I thought was going to be Brown's. The Kingston spot is what I thought was going to be Brown's spot. I think the final open roster spot is one of these pup guys ready to go. Like either Jalen Reed or Danico Autry. They're still only at 52 after they signed Kingston.
Yeah, and the from the CJ Gardner Johnson POV, he was really bad. And they did like Jalen Reed had a good enough camp to where there was at least some intrigue there at that position. So, you can make some sense of that. I wish I could say there's not much of a drop off from Cam Robinson to Blake Fisher. They don't believe that. And we're talking about the left side. That's the other two tackles didn't play the left side. They played damn near everything. Titus Howard played guard and tackle.
And it's worth noting, Trent Brown had 0 practices in the preseason with this team. He was on physically unable to perform the entirety of the preseason. So he has not, we don't see him line up in practice. So we don't know where he has been practicing while he's on the practice squad. But there's a chance Trent Brown has practiced very little, and there's a chance that Trent Brown has practiced none on the left side for this team.
Yep.
So, Ariante Ursary, you better hold up, buddy.
I mean, and just hang in there through the goods and the bad. Risque Barber says any neighbors type of trade Texans can make. What does that mean?
That is our buddy Jeff in our fantasy league.
Yeah.
He's tell the people, Landry. Yeah, tell the people. Got to explain it to them. I liked it. It was a good move by you.
I traded Puka before the week for Neighbors and Warren. Warren got scratched late, and then Neighbors tore his ACL, and Puka's on track to basically bend over Jerry Rice in every record that he's ever had. So it happens. Sometimes you got to make a 2-for-1. I had no problem with it.
I liked the move.
It didn't go well. I thought Neighbors was going to get force fed. Started out good, but yeah, no moves there.
I liked the move.
I guess. Chase says, "What if Lakin Tomlinson decides he wants to play?" I don't know. They've set the precedent.
Well,
right?
to be fair, Lakin is playing. He's just not playing as much as Juice. Maybe that's why they're rotating. So Lakin can't be like, I want to play. And they can say, hey, look, buddy, you are playing, just not as much. Yep. I also wonder, too, if this Kingston kid is here in case Lakin walks in and says, well, look what you just did for Cam Robinson. I want the same thing. And then they can tell him to hit the road. I mean, wouldn't hurt my feelings.
Well, I mean, Cam Robinson, I don't know. Maybe that's how they're figured out. I think there's a couple precedents that have been set. Like, I think you're going to get max value from Nick Caserio anytime you negotiate with him. And now it's maybe if you want to force your way out, you can force your way out. Whatever. Tiemann says Ravens isn't an offense built for a pocket passer. We need to win this weekend. No excuse. Also, the O-line is better this season. The O-line is better. Still not great. And the Ravens are as bad as the Titans. Like, just get that. I know it's hard. Just get it through your heads.
You want me to pull up the Ravens depth chart?
They're as bad as the Titans with what they currently are. So this is an unforgivable loss at this point. Going back to what I was saying at the beginning. They suck. They're not good. And they weren't really playing that good with Lamar. The O-line's a disaster. The Texans O-line's a disaster. The Ravens O-line is a disaster.
All right. These are the Ravens wide receivers. Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Tylan Wallace, the aging DeAndre Hopkins, Tez Walker, and LeJontay Wester. Not the most impressive crew.
I'm glad LeJontay made the team. I like that kid.
Drafted 8 picks after Graham Mertz.
Yeah, good for that kid.
They have 2 solid players on the O-line if Stanley can't go. Tyler Linderbaum's one of the better centers in football. And Roger Rosengarten's one of the better young players at tackle. Drafted after Blake Fisher, might I add. And then Derrick Henry, when he's been the sole focus of D'Amico Ryans, has been dominated. 2023 with the Titans, Derrick Henry did nothing against the Texans. So, not a super impressive offense. And as Tiemann notes, not built for somebody who can't do Lamar things. Like, you could rip out probably 80 to 90% of the playbook because you need Lamar for that. And then over on defense, look at all the red. The red are guys that are hurt or could miss the game.
Roquan's out already. Marlon's out already.
Marlon's out. Nate Wiggins could miss.
Matabike's not even on there anymore.
Yeah, they already put Matabike on there, on the IR. They're going to have to add bodies to their defensive line. Like, now they got a baller safety duo, but a lot of good that does when the other 9 guys are going to be either not talented or banged up. So, like, it's not a super impressive team. If the red guys miss and they run that crew out there, it's not a super impressive team.
Yep. And no one's gonna accuse the Texans of being super impressive either, but probably
You'd go to war with their, let's see, if it's a Baltimore missing about 8 guys, it's 53 minutes. You'd go to war with the Texans 45 over the Ravens 45.
That would be a true statement.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Dieter says, Nick Jones says Dieter was a CJ Vibes guy. Need him back.
I don't think anything.
No,
I don't know
thanks.
if anybody needs Michael Dieter.
The Rhino says, y'all think Cade is ready after the bye? No.
No, I don't think that'll be the case. The broken foot sounded like it was going to take a long time.
Yeah,
So-
he's not walking. It doesn't seem like.
I mean, you got to think about he's got to
I saw him rolling.
rolling. They hate it.
Yeah, he was rolling. It was in public. Wouldn't
You got to think he's got to get. Not only does he have to, the foot have to heal. He's got to get healthy enough for him to test it out, and then he's got to get back into some sort of football playing shape. And it's not anytime soon. It's not a couple of weeks away. So
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Crazy Texan says, great meeting you guys over at Spanky's last week. Looking forward to the 17th. We'll be there the 17th. We'll be there the 31st. Great meeting you too.
yeah, man, we're gonna have a lot of fun over there at Spanky's, and they're gonna have some fantastic stuff for the folks in the month of October. They already announced one of those specials, and everything that's not even a special's delicious too. So
Prices are on point. Prices are on point too.
it warms my heart when I see the folks ordering the tater kegs.
You have made the tater kegs pretty
Pretty popular, yeah.
pretty popular. And if they would have drafted Tate Ratledge, it would have been an even bigger hit.
If they had drafted Tate Ratledge, we would have had to have Tater Keg Tuesdays with Tate.
Rich Boy Jay says, who was the guy guarding Nico this past weekend? Never heard of him, but he wasn't very good.
That's the artist formerly known as Legarius Sneed.
Yeah, that's the Kansas City version of CJ Gardner Johnson. Pretty much.
That was always, and I don't know if you tweeted about it, but Kansas City fans ran to his defense on Twitter, and I was like, well, if he has a time machine and he's Kansas City Legarius Sneed, then yeah, it could be a fun battle, but it's not. It wasn't Kansas City Legarius Sneed. He was wearing a Titans uniform.
Tiemann says Texans can stack the box, trust the corners one-on-one, don't need to spy for Lamar. Offensively, the O's should be able to run lanes. Yeah, I don't know if the offense is going to run on anyone consistently. I still have very strong reservations about the offense. But I will say it's very nice when you look at who's not playing for the Ravens. It's very, you know what would be the biggest Caserio nightmare ever?
What would that be?
If the Ravens are missing all these guys and it just ends up being the Kyle Hamilton game, and Kyle Hamilton has 18 tackles, 3 interceptions, a touchdown, and all of a sudden it goes back to not taking him and taking Kenyon Green instead. Trading back and then taking Kenyon Green.
I don't need that in my life.
Kyle Hamilton has the Ed Reed on steroids game, and that's all we're talking about.
Hadn't Malachi Starks been pretty good for them too?
I haven't really paid a lot of attention to Malachi Starks. I did like him though.
We were fans of Malachi.
Yeah, I was a big Malachi guy.
Yeah. Texans the favorite in Baltimore. Things we never thought we'd say this season.
Yeah, if the Kyle Hamilton game happens, then Caserio has to quit.
He's got to walk back from Baltimore.
Yeah, he's got to quit. If all these guys are hurt, and then the decision to pass on Kyle Hamilton is front and center, and we bring that up again, then Caserio has to resign. That's my rule. That's my rule for the week.
Kyle Hamilton has what was it? Was is like Aaron Glenn and a couple of other defenders against the Steelers for the Texans, like way back in the day, where the defense scored like a few times and they just routed the Steelers despite having like 50 yards of offense or something, like in the early days of the Texans. Like Hamilton has one of those games, and the good old Ravens put it together for a day. Yeah, you got to walk back from Baltimore and then turn in your resignation.
No, I mean, it would be a gutsy win for the Ravens if they got this done. I mean, that's kind of their identity, I guess. I mean, I think they get like respect from every angle, but I mean, that would be just like the ultimate, like, gutting it out. Like it would be like the version of the Case Keenum game on steroids. Because the Titans were one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
The Titans were one of the worst teams in the league. Texans aren't good, but they're not terrible, and they're not that unhealthy. ASH.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Now, please tell the OC Nick to stop running rollout plays in goal line situations. The field is already small in those areas, so why would you roll out, making it smaller, running to one side?
Boy, and they love to run him to
his other side.
Yeah, to the non-throwing shoulder side too.
Yeah, but he says that he doesn't mind it.
He
He says he can do it either way.
okay, like I don't mind having to take the trash out, but I wish I didn't have to.
It's Kaylee's thing, man.
Yeah, but I mean, by all means, it's already. I mean, people are already the best at defense they've ever been in the history of football. Like, make it tougher to play offense, by all means.
So I was rolling down the elevator after the game, and I was talking to someone in the organization, and they were like, "Oh, now you're gonna have to lay off Kaylee this week," and I was like, "I mean,
not really."
Did you think that was like a great performance? I thought the top came off a little bit and like the wheels fell off, but I mean, I didn't like think that there was something crazy that went down to that. Now, I do like the theory that Sean has kind of put out there where maybe one play can kind of get CJ woken up. Like kind of a wild ass play, because I think CJ kind of thrives on like the wild ass backyard shit. Like, I don't know, like that's when he seemed like he was having the most fun. His
grip it, rip it phase.
Yeah. So like it does feel like there's kind of that element, and I actually think he misses that element with not having guys that can really play well off script with him, like he did with Tank and Noah Brown. But that would be the only theory I would think, is that maybe you can build something on that. But I didn't think this was like some sort of Nick Kaylee game.
I mean, he still stunk for a half. And then CJ hits a
3/4 of a game.
Yeah, I didn't like his drive in the third quarter either. You know, especially where he ran it 3 straight times, and then the Titans figured out they were running it there and just kind of crushed them.
Yeah.
But no, he still stunk for a portion of this game, and then it all kind of got going.
AMAC84 says, so that means Cody's going to have to take the nasty shot requested about a week ago if we beat the Ravens. Yes, he will.
Yep. 2 ounces of cucumber lime Gatorade, which is the worst Gatorade man has ever created. 2 ounces of milk and 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar. God. What was lunchtime with you like in the lunchroom? Were you guys just creating this like disgusting stuff to drink? Where does this come from?
Not just trades. We were just making trades, trading baseball cards, talking crap. Really, lunch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Just I tell you what, the ACV. No, thank you. I was not a fan of that yesterday.
How was your stomach?
The stomach didn't bother me until today. Today's when the stomach's really been bothering me.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was just the smell just kind of, even though I lit a candle, I sprayed some room spray, the smell still just kind of like lingered in here. It's gross.
Not great. All right, so Texans favored. Book your bet. We got you. We got you covered throughout. Tomorrow, CJ talks, D'Amico talks. We'll react to them. Be at Spanky's on the 17th and 31st. We look forward to seeing you there. Matt Marr is asking on the chat. He says, Landry, you got the olives. I don't have any green olives. He says if I eat 10 green olives that he would throw another hundo.
That's your ACV?
Dude, I throw up just looking at those orange.
Well, that's
I have no green olives here.
I can DoorDash you some pretty quick.
We'll see what that goes. All right. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. Subscribe, like, ride along. Always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. They should beat the Ravens. Don't let anyone tell you different. And we're all in this together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.